My little niece, Clara Chu, was born with a severe disability in both her legs. My sister-in-law, Vivian Zhang, was overjoyed, believing Clara was a heaven-sent young mistress, destined for a life of wealth and ease, never needing to toil. Ignoring her delusion, I stubbornly took my niece abroad for multiple surgeries, ultimately helping her grow up healthy, just like any other child. Yet whenever life threw her a curveball, my niece would always think of me. One time, after making a mistake and being reprimanded by her boss, she harbored resentment, secretly poisoning me. She did it to curry favor with the company's leadership, hoping for a shortcut to success. To gather more leverage against me, she even pushed me from a high floor. My mother, Linda Lay, always told me, "If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have suffered like this. You owe me. Without you, I would have been weighted on hand and foot for the rest of my life." After I was reborn, my sister-in-law, Vivian, once again sought my opinion. Of course, I showed my full support. What's a disability? Clearly, we are destined for innate wealth and nobility. We'll have servants even if we stay in bed. Today was Clara Chu's 100-day celebration. The clean, fair-skinned baby was placed on a large round table. Faced with a table full of new and strange objects, she merely tried to reach out her hand, her body otherwise completely motionless. "Why isn't little Clara moving at all?" someone fretted. Clara Chu wasn't just unwilling to move, she was completely unable. In my past life, I was the one who discovered something was wrong with Clara's left leg, as if it hadn't fully developed. But in this life, I kept silent. Still, some sharp-eyed person noticed the abnormality. "Clara, why does this child's leg look like one side is longer than the other?" "Yes, it's true, I just noticed it too. It's a bit frightening to look at." "Vivian, did you not take her for prenatal checkups? If there's an issue with her legs, it needs to be treated immediately." My sister-in-law, Vivian Zhang, flushed scarlet, clearly caught off guard. Yet she spoke with feigned bravado. "Why are you all acting so ignorant? Our Clara isn't like other children. I consulted the Grand Master at the temple. They said Clara is born with the destiny of an empress, never to endure hard labor throughout her life. Legs like these further prove her noble fate. Don't you all know that in ancient times, noble young ladies never touched spring water with their fingers and never walked on the ground? That's what true nobility is. Our Clara is truly blessed." I couldn't help but chuckle inwardly. Empress, destiny in this day and age, but this time I had no intention of exposing Vivian. She argued with the family, sweating and spitting before finally turning to me. "Mia, you're the smartest one in our family. Don't listen to these outsiders' nonsense. Tell me, is there anything wrong with Clara?" The exact same question from my previous life was once again posed before me. The wrong choice in that life had led me to my death. To avoid missing the crucial treatment window, I chose to speak the truth. Clara Chu's legs are clearly deformed, even a non-doctor can see it. If we start treatment now, there's still time. Because I spoke with reason and evidence, my relatives all believed me. Vivian, utterly humiliated, could only claim she'd already booked a hospital appointment, but was too worried her relatives would look down on Clara to admit her daughter had a congenital disability. She just wanted to protect her daughter with all her might. After all, she was family, and everyone sympathized with her. A woman who had just lost her husband was pouring all her energy into her daughter. The big issue passed with a few words and smiles. But afterwards, the one who spent the money and effort, taking Clara Chu abroad for multiple surgeries until she fully recovered, was always me. Yet no matter how much devotion I poured into Clara Chu, once she gained awareness, she never acknowledged it. For instance, when she wasn't cast as a princess in the cultural festival, or when she repeatedly failed post-graduation job interviews, she would blame me. "It's all your fault. I was destined for a life of luxury, with clothes laid out and meals served, living like a wealthy young lady. You ruined my noble fate. Now I have to do everything myself. It's exhausting." When Clara was little, I patiently taught her that anything she wanted, she had to work for herself. Being a canary in a gilded cage, without basic survival skills, wasn't necessarily a good thing. But as she grew older, Clara Chu would only reply with disdain, "Working for yourself is for pathetic, useless women. I have such good conditions. If you hadn't ruined my noble destiny, I'd have a throng of people serving me." Vivian Zhang stood by, giving her daughter a thumbs up. "You're right, darling. My teaching hasn't been in vain, you're truly progressive. After that, I decided to cut off all contact with them, until Clara Chu called me, sobbing as if she were suffocating, her voice trembling as she pleaded for help. "Auntie, please come save me, my boss. He wants to do that asterisk to me. I'm so scared. Can you please come save me?" One moment of weakness cost me my life. Later, I found out Clara Chu had used me to serve her boss, exchanging me for a promotion opportunity and additional blackmail material against him. She pushed me out of a window, staging the scene to look like I committed suicide due to sexual assault. Then, she used this incident to continuously pressure her boss for promotions and salary raises. I still clearly remember Clara Chu's triumphant smile at that time. My mother, Linda Lee, had said, "If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have suffered like this. You owe me. Without you, I would have been weighted on hand and foot for the rest of my life." As I looked at the baby lying in the crib near the wall, I suddenly felt that her eyes bore a resemblance to those from my previous life. Vivian Zhang asked me again, "Mia, tell me, am I right?" I let out a faint laugh. "Of course you're right. I once read in a book that it's clearly an innate destiny of wealth and nobility, never touching spring water throughout life. So what if there's a disability? With such a fate, one can simply lie still and still be served. See, I told you our Clara isn't like other little girls." Vivian immediately felt reassured, embracing Clara Chu and parading her clubfoot everywhere, as if showing off a generational treasure, completely oblivious to Clara's increasingly purplish feet. But that's fine too. I wanted to see just how noble this so-called Empress's destiny, born in the wrong era, could truly be. I scheduled movers for a week later. Constantly busy with work, I planned to sleep in for once, but to my dismay, the piercing cries of a baby echoed in my ears. My head pounded. Opening my eyes groggily, I discovered Clara Chu had been placed right beside my pillow by her mother. Clearly, after being reborn, I had locked my room, and there were no signs of a forced entry on the lock. It turned out someone had used a spare key. I carried the incessantly crying Clara Chu out of the room. "Where's Vivian Zhang?" "You're calling your sister-in-law by her first name? No respect for elders at all. And that room of yours, we're all family. Why lock the door? It looks bad if outsiders hear about it." Linda Lee casually peeled sunflower seeds as she spoke. "Sister-in-law, I'm going to my class reunion. Someone needs to take care of Clara, right? You're her aunt. Don't be so calculating. She's your blood niece." They've truly exposed themselves. In my previous life, Linda and Vivian said the exact same thing. You were the one who insisted on taking Clara Chu abroad for surgery, so naturally, as her aunt, you must take care of her to build affection before you go. Otherwise, how will you two live together abroad? Looking at Clara Chu's pained, sickly face, I was reminded of my own brother, who had cared for me so tenderly when I was little. And so, I softened. I never expected that to be the beginning of my relentless exploitation. Due to her lower limb paralysis, Clara Chu couldn't control her bladder, constantly soiling new clothes. I was swamped caring for Clara, unable to cope. My repeated pleas to Linda Lee and Vivian Zhang went unanswered, causing me to miss many crucial business opportunities. Whenever I expressed my dissatisfaction and wanted Clara Chu to return to her mother, Linda Lee would say, "Didn't you insist on taking her away from her mother to get her legs treated? Now that she's close to you, it's your responsibility to take care of her." As a result, I completely lost my chance to start a business. Fresh out of college, I was utterly drained, looking like a 40-year-old woman, constantly enveloped in the scent of baby milk. Meanwhile, Vivian Zhang glowed, having learned to exploit the anxieties of new mothers, becoming a famous, diamond nanny on social media. In her videos, Vivian claimed to single-handedly manage all household chores while raising her precious daughter, Clara Chu. Yet, there were no traces of fatigue on her face. Her postpartum figure was perfectly slender, indistinguishable from young women who had never given birth. It was only then that she began to act affectionately towards Clara Chu, solely for the camera, filming intimate videos and declaring, "My little princess surely brings luck to her mother." Thinking aloud, she added, "Though raising a child is hard, knowing that my child brings me good fortune and makes me more beautiful, I don't feel any hardship at all." I remembered clearly that Vivian Zhang's idea of self-promotion began after returning from a class reunion. Every quiet late night, she would call an old male classmate. What should I wear for the next live stream to project the image of a captivating mother? I smiled. Mom, I'm taking Clara out for some fresh air. I carried Clara Chu and took a taxi to the restaurant where Vivian Zhang was holding her class reunion. Her choked, tearful singing echoed through the hallway outside the private room. Everyone was singing, that year's deskmate. When I pushed the door open, Vivian Zhang was intimately arm-in-arm with a middle-aged man, laughing and chatting. If your wife truly loved you, she'd always maintain her figure, make herself radiant. Why would she let you get bored? Saying she's busy with the child is just an excuse. Look at me, I just gave birth and I can still make time to see you. I suddenly remembered that in my previous life, after that class reunion, Vivian Zhang had posted a selfie with swollen eyes on her social media, captioned with, "Forever missing my first love. Every time I think of you, I can't hold back my tears. Fortunately, I'll never lose you. My daughter and I will always wait for you in this house." At the time, I thought she was mourning my brother, her husband who had passed away only a month prior. But now, it seemed her old flame was not so simple. I called out, "Vivian, what's going on?" The man immediately panicked, pushing Vivian away, though his eyes still held a lingering reluctance. "Mia, why are you here?" Vivian was clearly startled. I said nothing, merely pushing Clara Chu into her arms. "Sister-in-law, why didn't you bring your daughter out with you? Clara is so hungry, she's cried herself unconscious several times. The doctor said there's a risk of suffocation." Vivian's face burned red. Her classmates immediately began whispering. "I told you," someone murmured. "She's dressed so glamorously, turns out she doesn't care about her child at all. She talks a big game, but in reality, she neglects her kid to show off." Who mothers like that? Just now, she had me worried sick, but it was all a lie. Let's not invite her to the next reunion. "Mia, take Clara home first. I smell of alcohol, the baby's too young for that smell." Vivian tried to push Clara back to me, but this time, Clara truly reacted. Unable to bear the smell of alcohol, Clara vomited directly onto her. Immediately, the party room was filled with an indescribable stench. The man who had just been caressing her instantly grabbed a chair and scurried several meters away. Everyone looked awkward, silent in the embarrassing atmosphere. Vivian Zhang shrieked in agony over her brand-new installment plan designer dress. She hadn't even paid off the first installment. Holding the stinking Clara, she turned to leave. I deliberately pinched my nose, feigning disgust. "Sister-in-law, what is that awful smell?" Vivian's face turned ashen. "Don't even start. The baby also soiled herself twice. My reputation is ruined because of her, and this dress was brand new." Even Linda Lee couldn't stand it, frowning deeply. "Vivian, take Clara to wash up quickly. The house isn't well ventilated, and it's already like this." Compared to the troubles that would follow, this was still mild. "Mia's mother isn't looking after her, so I guess I'll have to. After all, she's still blood of your Chu family." Without a word, Vivian Zhang shoved Clara Chu into Linda Lee's arms and rushed into the bathroom. My mother, Linda Lee, could no longer pretend not to notice, because the moving truck I'd called was already downstairs. "Mia, your heart is truly made of stone." Linda Lee gritted her teeth. "How can a daughter like you survive alone in society? When that time comes, if you beg your sister and sister-in-law to let you return, there won't be any room for you in this house." "That day will never come," I said. I didn't look back, walking straight down the stairs, towards a life where no one could hold me back anymore, no longer burdened by Clara Chu's health. I poured my entire being into my career, as if to make up for the regrets of my previous life. Many years later, I unexpectedly received a call from Vivian Zhang. She immediately opened with, "I heard you sponsored a library building for our old middle school. Your niece, Clara Chu, is studying there. There's a cultural event coming up soon, a play or something. Do you know about it?" "Of course, I know," I replied. As the benefactor who donated 3 buildings to my alma mater, I would be attending and participating in a promotional video for the school. Vivian must have known this, which was why she called. "Good that you know," she said, as if it were a given. "My niece wants to play the princess. Can you arrange it for her?" My mouth twitched slightly. How could anyone be so brazen in this world? In my previous life, Clara Chu had indeed played the princess. That was because I painstakingly practiced rehabilitation with her every day, trained her in acting, and taught her elegant and confident manners. She fully deserved that role, even earning special admission to an art school through that opportunity, enjoying the best education and a promising future. But in this life, none of that concerned her anymore. I said coldly, "This is arranged by the school. It's not my business." "Miachu, that's your own niece. You can't even help with such a small matter. I don't understand how a heartless person like you can be called an exemplary businesswoman," Vivian Zhang said furiously. "Do you know how long your niece has worked hard for this role? Are you even her aunt, or are you just a flashy exterior with no real ability?" I sneered. "Why is it that only your daughter's efforts count as effort? Do other people's struggles become meaningless? Is that how illogical you are?" Vivian Zhang angrily hurled threats. "Fine, if you won't help, my Clara can win the princess role on her own." On the day of the performance, I discovered the play's content was vastly different from the original script I had received. The old script depicted a princess who, after understanding everything, took up a sword and overcame all obstacles to save herself. But on stage, the princess sat, waiting for a knight to rescue her, reverting to the same old cliché. I couldn't help but be curious. "Principal Sue, why is the script different from the one sent to me?" Before Principal Sue could hesitate and speak, a male student sitting nearby grumbled, "It's because that plump girl, Chu, got the princess role, and she can't even walk, so the teachers had to rewrite the script for her." I never imagined Clara Chu not only landed the lead role, but also forced the entire cast to revise the script and rehearse from scratch because of her. "Principal Sue, what exactly happened?" The principal sighed. "Show me your phone." It turned out that in this life, Vivian Zhang was still attempting self-promotion, but without her dazzling looks, she hadn't gained popularity. I had never seen any of her videos. Recently, however, Vivian Zhang had suddenly gone viral, accusing others of the hardships of single-handedly raising a child. Her daughter, she claimed, was bullied because of her unsteady legs, and a role meant for her was stolen by a well-connected girl. I couldn't help but frown. Regardless, in this life, Clara Chu had no chance of getting the lead role. I vividly recalled visiting the first rehearsal, where I met the girl originally chosen to be the princess, Sophia Shen. She had no backing whatsoever, came from a single-parent family, and had an average background. That's precisely why I decided to sponsor her tuition. Principal Sue was helpless. Netizens are attacking Sophia Shen, so we had no choice but to adjust things to quell public outrage. Was it true that anyone who made enough noise could force things to go their way? Enduring these injustices, I didn't consider myself weak. I smiled faintly, anticipating the next developments. Soon enough, the protagonist appeared, but it wasn't Clara Chu. As if prearranged, the play's content was brought back onto its proper track. Everything proceeded as smoothly as flowing water and drifting clouds. Sophia Shen, adhering to the original script, decisively severed the chains symbolizing bondage, standing proudly under the stage lights, displaying an explosive strength even more impressive than Clara Chu in my previous life. Although Sophia Shen never told me that her role had been stolen, with someone as brazen as Vivian Zhang, I naturally had to be on guard. Otherwise, wouldn't I just let them win again? Behind the stage, a sharp scream suddenly echoed. "How dare you mock me?" Clara Chu furiously propelled her wheelchair onto the stage. "Why have you abandoned me? I am a young lady of noble birth. How dare you not serve me?" Although I had anticipated it, seeing Clara Chu still startled me. Her upper body was slightly plump, understandable for a growing child, but her face was gaunt, almost skeletal, as if all her nutrition had been diverted to her legs. Both legs were swollen like stone pillars, her body so disproportionate it was visually unsettling. Under the stage lights, the grotesque appearance of the noble princess, Clara Chu, was revealed in every detail. The classmates who had been resentful about the stolen role collectively pushed her wheelchair into the dark area behind the stage. It was a remarkably synchronized and smooth reaction, as if to say, a princess spoiled beyond measure must ultimately bear the consequences. Sophia Shen walked to that dark area, extending her hand towards Clara. "Princess, you can't keep relying on others forever. Why not be like me? Strive for yourself and use your own strength to achieve what you desire." Clara Chu screamed frantically. "You did this on purpose. Didn't we agree to perform it this way?" Sophia Shen covered her mouth, pushing the wheelchair further into the shadows. After the performance ended, Vivian Zhang furiously sought me out. "Mia Chu, was this intentional? My daughter is a young lady of noble birth. How could she not be suitable for the role of a princess? If she had performed, it would definitely have been better than those other kids. I worked so hard to snatch that role for her, and now you've ruined everything. How can you ignore your own niece and help some nobody? Amidst Vivian Zhang's shrill screams, I idly toyed with the bouquet in my hand, smiling faintly as if taunting a puppy. Isn't it normal to lose something you stole if you can't hold on to it? Besides, she still played a princess, just an overly ambitious supporting princess. Afterwards, Clara Chu actually received more praise than in my previous life. In that life, she shone because of a good script. In this life, she truly carried the role herself. Everyone said she had a talent for acting, portraying a vicious, envious, and idle woman with striking realism. Due to a job change, I decided to sell the first apartment I had ever bought. Moving to one in the city center, I never thought I would achieve the position I held today when I first moved here in my past life. A sense of bittersweet nostalgia washed over me. Today was the day the buyer was scheduled to view the house. As soon as he arrived, he threw a bag of money onto the coffee table. Count it, not a single penny is missing. It was my first time encountering such a straightforward client. No need to count, let's just sign the contract. I appreciated such decisive people. It avoided unnecessary complications. The man pulled his baseball cap low, speaking in a deep voice, "I don't have my ID with me. Can I sign and move in first, and we'll handle the title transfer later?" I frowned, feeling something suspicious about him, as if he was trying to hide something. If it hadn't been for his gesture of pulling down his cap, revealing a tattoo I'd seen before on his finger, I might not have recognized that familiar face. I had originally intended not to sell the house to such a suspicious person, but after realizing his identity, I changed my mind, even conceiving an intriguing idea. "All right, sign it." The man finished signing, and just then my phone rang. It was Ms. Yang, Sophia Shen's homeroom teacher. I answered. Her voice was filled with worry. "Ms. Chu, could you come to the school? Clara Chu's parents are causing too much trouble, and they've dragged Sophia Shen into it. Please try to come and see." Hearing Sophia Shen's name, I decided to go to Clara Chu's school. I thought Vivian Zhang wouldn't be there, but to my surprise, she was, brawling with a male student continuously spewing vulgar curses. "Don't you know?" she shrieked. "We cherish Clara because she is a heaven-sent young mistress. Her feet must not touch the ground. If they do, she will become common. That is a fate without blessing." Then she turned to Sophia Shen. "And you vixen. Because of your hatred, you deliberately targeted my Clara, bringing those men to bully her. How can a girl like you harbor such wicked thoughts? No wonder your father abandoned you and your mother. You two are truly cut from the same cloth." I pulled Sophia Shen behind me and delivered a sharp slap to Vivian Zhang's face. "Calm down, this is a school, not a mental hospital." I asked Ms. Yang, "What exactly happened today?" The teacher suggested. "Let's just review the camera footage first." Vivian Zhang scoffed. "No need to watch, I already know what happened. These children are jealous because my daughter is a young mistress. They're all conspiring to ruin her noble destiny. If there's any fault, it's absolutely not my daughter's." The camera footage showed that after physical education class, only Clara Chu remained in the classroom. She aggressively stared at Sophia Shen's seat, pulled everything out of Sophia's bag, and then smeared the dirty discharge from her own body all over Sophia's books, cursing as she did so. "It's all your fault, you bitch who stole my lead role. I should have been directly admitted. You ruined my entire life. Now I've become like this." As she prepared to smear it onto Sophia's uniform jacket, a few students returned to the classroom to get water. They coincidentally saw the scene and yelled, "What are you doing?" Startled, Clara Chu was speechless, only her tears falling. "She bullied me." "Ha, isn't that the class's young mistress?" A student scoffed. "Your mother came to school countless times, yelling that you shouldn't touch water, making teachers wipe your face and feed you water every day. And now, you don't touch water but you're playing these filthy games? Clara Chu, you're truly ugly, and your heart is ugly too. Stop pretending. Everyone in class knows you wanted to steal Sophia Shen's lead role but couldn't. Your mother even came and caused trouble several times. If you like dirty games so much, then enjoy them yourself." A male student grabbed a book smeared with filth and wiped it directly onto Clara Chu's face. "Idiot!" Clara Chu angrily chased after him to hit him, but as soon as she stood up, she collapsed onto the floor due to her disability. Vivian Zhang shrieked hysterically. "My daughter's feet touch the ground. Clara is a noble lady of this generation. Her feet cannot touch the ground. If you ruin her noble destiny, I will not let this go. The school, out of options, had no choice but to advise Vivian Zhang to withdraw Clara Chu. It wasn't that people lacked compassion for the disabled, but rather that their entire family seemed to have mental issues. Vivian Zhang declared loudly, "So what if she quits? My daughter has a wealthy fate from birth. She won't need to study and will still have people serving her. What good are those tattered books anyway?" After dropping out, Clara Chu became violent, constantly smashing things and spewing vulgar curses. Linda Lee had called me over 20 times. Today was the first time I answered. On the phone, she was sobbing hysterically. "Mia, come home. Without you, this family truly can't survive anymore. Your granddaughter goes crazy every day, smashing everything she sees. A few days ago, she even hit me on the head with a desk lamp. I needed 17 stitches. Mia, I truly miss you. I really miss you." I guess she was at her breaking point because, beside her, Clara Chu's frantic screams echoed. "Why have I become like this? It's all because you ruined my life. So what if I smash things? You all owe me. You all deserve to die." Before hanging up, I spoke one last sentence. "Mom, you are Clara's biological grandmother. She's acting that way towards you because you're close. A grandmother shouldn't quibble with her grandchild. After all, she's your own flesh and blood. Seeing our family so harmonious, I'm truly at ease." My mother said nothing, only Clara Chu's screams grew louder. "You damn hag, who are you talking to? Is it Auntie? Auntie, it's me, Clara. My leg hurts so much. Every day I think of you. I want you to come pick me up. Can you take me to get my legs treated, Auntie?" I decisively hung up. I looked at the screen, seeing Vivian Zhang crying dramatically and miserably. It was clear that after her previous internet storm, she had tasted success. After all, publicly slandering others online was currently the fastest way to ruin someone's reputation. Vivian Zhang showed no shame. She openly blamed me for Clara Chu's disability. She even subtly implied that Sophia Shen's backer in the previous video was me, and that I had forced Clara Chu to drop out of school at her most beautiful age. Everyone was puzzled as to why I wouldn't help my own niece, instead siding with a complete stranger. The story gradually spread, even leading to rumors that I had a secret child. But Vivian Zhang's rumors alone weren't enough to convince everyone, until my mother, Linda Lee, also appeared before the camera, revealing a wound on her head. That day, Mia came home saying the company was out of money and wanted to take all the money from the house. I disagreed because that money was for Clara's treatment. She snatched it, injuring my head like this. "Mia, even though you did wrong, I still forgive you. You can't abandon your niece and let her die because of your mistakes." Because Linda Lee implied I had financial problems, several partners in negotiation immediately withdrew. My company's stock price plummeted uncontrollably. The entire enterprise was on the verge of collapse. I opened the camera feed for my old house. Sure enough, the front door was plastered with hate mail from netizens. The brown wooden door was covered in garish spray paint, even containing death threats. Fortunately, I had moved out a long time ago, but for the new buyer, this was a disaster out of the blue. Out of personal ethics, I still sent a message to the buyer. "I've run into some trouble recently. If you change your mind, I'll refund your money, as the title transfer hasn't been completed yet." He replied instantly, "No need, all the better, what luck." Of course, I never intended to refund anything. When I returned to my phone screen, I saw Clara Chu was live streaming. Curious, I clicked to watch. "Auntie, I know you're watching, it's okay. No matter how badly they speak of me, I don't care, because we are family. As long as you come back to live with us, we will definitely overcome everything together. Auntie, please come back." Below, the comments were all emotional. Clara is truly an angel. Her aunt treated her so badly, yet she can still forgive her. Clara is a testament to the saying, "The world kisses us with pain, and we still respond with tenderness." Oh my God, so touching. If her aunt is still watching this live stream, she must be ashamed enough to commit suicide. How can a person be so selfish? But perhaps the mother and daughter had forgotten that the internet is a double-edged sword. A new comment suddenly appeared in the live stream. "Wait, it seems this story has been turned on its head. Clara's aunt just responded, and the evidence is even clearer." Vivian Zhang claimed I caused her daughter's disability, but all our relatives could testify. Vivian Zhang herself had stubbornly insisted it was a noble destiny, adamantly refusing treatment for her child, even cursing out relatives and severing ties. Vivian Zhang argued that all the relatives had been bribed, but she forgot that my family had a tradition of video recording the entire 100-day celebration. Regarding the stolen roll, the bouquet I gave that day had a recording device hidden inside. Vivian Zhang herself admitted she used cyberbullying to snatch the roll from Sophia Shen, a girl with no backing. There was also an audio recording of Clara Chu cursing Linda Li and camera footage of her smearing dirt on Sophia Shen's books. One piece of evidence after another was released. The situation immediately turned. Clara Chu and her mother were fiercely attacked by netizens. The incident even climbed to the hot search, becoming a media phenomenon for many days straight. A warning: how much harm can ignorant parents inflict on their children? A warning: does fabricating stories online truly come without a price? A warning: netizens were once again used as tools for warfare. Finally, Vivian Zhang's account was permanently banned, and she was arrested. On my way home, my surveillance camera app unexpectedly reported an unusual situation. An unfamiliar person had broken in. I immediately told the driver to turn around, preparing not to go home. But upon rechecking, I realized the alerted house wasn't where I currently lived, but my old apartment, which I hadn't unlinked from the system. Vivian Zhang, fresh out of detention, pushed her daughter into my apartment and anxiously asked, "Clara, is this really your aunt's house? Why do I feel like a man lives here?" "It can't be wrong," Clara Chu said confidently. "Didn't you see I guessed the password correctly? People curse our family every day. It's all because Auntie ruined our good fortune. She deserves to be punished. Go ahead and smash everything, Mom." "You're right," Vivian Zhang agreed. "We need to teach her a lesson." With that, Vivian Zhang flipped over every piece of furniture in the house, destroying everything without leaving a single spot untouched. The once cozy apartment was now a pile of rubble. Just then, the doorbell rang. That bitch, she finally dared to come back. Vivian Zhang furiously rushed to open the door. Seeing the man who bought the house, she slapped him forcefully. "Indeed, there is a man, so you're living with this kind of trash." The mother and daughter didn't notice the man's face gradually darkening. Beneath his soaked raincoat, he seemed to be hiding a razor-sharp fruit knife. I only recognized him after seeing the tattoo on his hand. He was the serial killer who had been on the run for years in the city. In my previous life, Clara Chu was obsessed with novels about psychopathic killers. With a theme of compulsive love, she had collected all sorts of materials related to this man. She insisted on finding him to experience a fervent love. In this life, one could say she had achieved her wish. When the police arrived, Vivian Zhang lay in a pool of blood, her body stabbed over 24 times. Clara Chu was found with the perpetrator 3 days later and handed over to her guardian, grandmother Linda Li. From being paralyzed from the waist down, she became completely paralyzed. Because when she was rescued, her entire body had been subjected to such compulsive love that there wasn't a single uninjured spot. It was said that Clara Chu's mental state was also unstable. Sometimes she would cry and wail, "Auntie, I was wrong, please come and take me home." Other times she would curse wildly, "It's all your fault for harming me. If I hadn't believed that nonsense about my feet not touching the ground, I wouldn't have lived such a miserable life." Indeed, a form of being served even when just lying still. She and my mother became burdens to each other. My mother constantly cried to the neighbors, saying she wanted to hang herself. Meanwhile, my business flourished. I also had to thank the mother and daughter for helping me weed out fair-weather partners. Those who still believed in me were truly worthy of my trust. While negotiating a contract abroad, I received another call from Linda Li. This time, I quietly pressed the block button, because a brilliant future awaited me, and I had no need to look back at the suffering of the past.